It's a very simple message. They will never have a nuclear weapon. To the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. We're already substantially ahead of our time projections, but whatever the time is, it's okay. Whatever it takes, we will always, and we have right from the beginning, we projected 4 to 5 weeks, but we have capability to go far longer than that.
This is not Iraq. This is not endless. President Trump has all the latitude in the world to talk about how long it may or may not take. 4 weeks, 2 weeks, 6 weeks. It could move up, it could move back. We're going to execute at his command the objectives we've set out to achieve. This is not a so-called regime change war. But the regime sure did change. And the world is better off for it.
We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed.
If we didn't stop them, or if we didn't start, they've been decimated. But if we didn't do what we're doing right now, you would have had a nuclear war and they would have taken out many countries, because you know what? They're sick people.
The State Department is now actively, as it has been now for the last 72 hours, implementing our plans to help Americans in the Middle East be able to depart. As of a few minutes ago before I left, 9,000 Americans have been able to leave the region since the start of this war. We have about 1,500 Americans that are requesting assistance with departure. We have identified and continue to identify charter flights, military flight options, and expanded commercial flight options, meaning working with the airlines to send bigger airplanes with more seats. And the combination of those three things. Rest assured, we are confident that we are going to be able to assist every American. As I told you right now, we have about a little over 1,500, maybe closer to 1,600 Americans requesting assistance. And we know that we're going to be able to help them. It's going to take a little time because we don't control the airspace closure.
Canada calls for a rapid de-escalation of hostilities and is prepared to assist in achieving this goal. Resolution of this crisis will require commitment to a broader political solution. And diplomatic engagement is essential to avoid a wider and deeper conflict. Innocent civilians must be protected, and all parties must commit to finding enduring agreements to end both nuclear proliferation and terrorist extremism. Canada reaffirms that international law binds all belligerents. We condemn the strikes carried out by Iran on civilians and civilian infrastructure across the Middle East. And we implore all parties, including the United States and Israel, to respect the rules of international engagement.
The top U.S. commander for the Middle East, Admiral Brad Cooper, says American operations against Iran are ahead of schedule. In a video briefing released Tuesday evening, he gave an update on the campaign, saying, quote, "We are seeing Iran's ability to hit us and our partners decline, while our combat power is building." Cooper says more than 2,000 Iranian targets have been hit, with Iran's air defenses heavily degraded and its navy left without any operational vessels on key waterways. He said the first 24 hours of Operation Epic Fury were nearly double the scale of the opening day of the 2003 shock and awe campaign in Iraq. Cooper said some 50,000 US troops are taking part in operations and that more capabilities were on the way. The US military on Tuesday identified 4 of the first American soldiers killed in the war, as the Trump administration warned the intensifying conflict would lead to more US casualties. On Wednesday in Jerusalem, air raid sirens warned of incoming Iranian missiles, with witnesses reporting loud blasts shaking buildings as the missiles were intercepted. The 5-day-old war continues to rattle global markets as airlines and tourism operators grapple with more than 20,000 flight cancellations, and governments rush to bring stranded travelers home from the Middle East.
We must learn from history and cannot play Russian roulette with the fate of millions of people. The powers involved in this conflict must immediately cease hostilities and commit to dialogue and diplomacy. And the rest of us must act consistently, defending now the same values that we defend when we talk about Ukraine, Gaza, Venezuela or Greenland. Because the question is not whether or not we are in favor of the Ayatollahs. No one is. Certainly not the Spanish people, and of course not the Spanish government either. The question, rather, is whether or not we are on the side of international law, and therefore of peace. Governments are here to improve people's lives, to provide solutions to problems, not to make people's lives worse. And it is absolutely unacceptable that those leaders who are incapable of fulfilling that mission use the smoke of war to hide their failure, and incidentally to fill up the pockets of a few, of the usual ones, the only ones who win when the world stops building hospitals to build missiles.
The world has awakened because Iran, the lion, is awake. We are mourning the martyrdom of our leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei. What is happening is that we have always been against the oppression of people, and this time, Iran has not remained silent.
For what crime do they abduct a country's president, a legitimate president of a country, and violate the rights of that country? For what crime and in what right do they attack wherever they want in the world, and take over the resources of that country? In this holy war against us, in this holy defense, we will teach them an unforgettable lesson on your behalf, a lesson that will never be forgotten in history.
From drones striking Amazon data centres to AI taking the Mobile World Congress by storm, this is Tech Weekly. Amazon data centres in the UAE and Bahrain were damaged by drone strikes from the Middle East conflict, the company said on Monday. Cloud services have been disrupted, with the tech giant stating the recovery will be prolonged. It marks the first time a major US tech company's data centre has been disrupted by military action. The strikes raise questions around big tech's pace of expansion in the region. New legislation could see Poland ban social media for children under 15 years of age. The government says platforms will be responsible for age verification or face fines. Several European governments have explored similar restrictions amid claims social media services are harmful or addictive for minors. AI technology and next-generation robotics are the focus for this week's World Mobile Congress in Barcelona. Exhibitors are showcasing how AI is reshaping smartphones, wearables, and connected services. AI and the ethics surrounding its rapid deployment sits high on this year's agenda. SpaceX launched a new batch of Starlink satellites into low Earth orbit, the company said on Sunday. 29 internet provider satellites were successfully released, completing the company's 22nd Starlink mission of the year. The Elon Musk-owned company is preparing a blockbuster public listing later this year that could value it at over $1.5 trillion. Sportswear brand On Running has opened a factory in South Korea using robots to make running shoes. Co-founder Kaspar Kopetti says automation enables the brand to make shoes faster. The Swiss company said it plans to open similar factories in the United States and Europe. Tariff hikes, supply chain disruptions, and geopolitical risks are driving brands to manufacture their products closer to the end consumer.